ระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอับรหมจริยาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยมัจจปมาดฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิวิกาลโภจนาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามินัจจกีตวาดิตวิสุขดัสสนามาลากันธวิเลปนาธารณามันดนาวิภูสนัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอุจจาสยนะมหาสยนะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอิดังเมสีลังมัคคะพลญาณัสสะปัจจโยโหตุอัปปมาเดนะสัมปาเดทะสาธุสาธุ
here, Tibi yet, Le Papi, some of yet, here, Tibi look at now, cannot be a say that to Ni Uruga, what is it? Di deve new message generation. Di deve say that the child can't go on the photo. Ni little a chowbang, we are also looking at the tipping her. Even my she say that the child can't go with each other. I look at she. It is a new set of no set machine. It is a hero. The Cindy, I say that shall come the Egyptian. Looks from jet, tipping that the knee, thin and knee. She the little tool to wear for senior. It is a suicide. To see that the child cut off.
Sadhu says, yesterday he has explained how a tree lives alive and how it can bear the fruit and develop other trees without having any difficulties. Trees grow one after another non-stop because the tree has sap all over it, and the sap gets sufficient aid from various other aspects, from earth, from water, from temperature, from wind. Having various helps and aids through those other facts, so the sap remains powerful and it can give energy to the tree to develop itself and to bear fruits, and there will be a continuous continuity in growing that tree and giving growth to other trees. If someone wants to stop growing the tree and try to make the tree dry, then you have to avoid those other aspects through which the sap easily gets dry. When sap dries itself, then the tree cannot grow again. The tree couldn't bear any fruit to grow other trees. So you can easily kill the tree, stopping the energies in which their substantial power to grow the tree. When you stop the causes of growth of a tree, then the tree couldn't grow and the tree will dry. In the same way, Sadhu says, if you want to have the continuity of your existences, then there are various functioning aspects as the rounds of defilements, rounds of commerce, rounds of results, and there again sensuous spheres through which the round of defilements get energy to give growth, the power to the existence. So in that way the existence continues non-stop. If you want to break them, and if you want to stop the continuity or spinning of your rounds of existence, then you also try to do same act what you are trying to stop the development and growth of a tree.
ဖြစ်ဖြစ်လောကမှာတော့လူကံမကုန်ကြီးဟာပြိတ္တာကိုခေါ်တဲ့အစိတ်ဓာတ်ကိုပွားစီစီကြပါလေအဲ့ဒီလူကံမကုန်အထောက်ပံ့ရနေတဲ့ရွေးတော့ပြိတ္တာကိုကတော့အစိတ်ဓာတ်မရှိအရနာမရှိပွားစီစီမှာပွားနေမှာဒါတော့လူကံမကုန်အထောက်အပံ့မရှိဘူးဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့ကိလေသာအစေးဟာဖြည်းဖြည်းညှို့ပြီးတော့၆ခါမှုရှိတာပါပဲအဲ့ဒါလို့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဘဝတည်ပြင်မျိုးဖြည်းဖြည်းပြတ်မှာပါပဲနောက်ဆက်တွဲရှိဘူးမမြင်တော့ပါဘူး
Sadhu says, until there will be sensuous pleasures in human existence as the human sensuous pleasures, then the sap of defilement will be wet all the time, and there will be strength to give growth various kinds of activities. Then the tree of the human existence remain forever continuously. If you want to stop the existence of human existence, then you have to stop the means through which the sap of defilement gets energy to develop. So therefore Sadhu says, it is necessary to make powerless on the sensuous spheres. If the sensuous spheres will become powerless, there won't be any energy to produce any kind of defilement. Then the tree of human existence will dry gradually.
ဒီကံကုန်တွေကမျက်စိနားနဲ့နှာခေါင်းရှားကိုခေါ်တဲ့ဒီကပောက်၅မျိုးမှာသင်ပေါ်နေပါလိမ့်နေရကနေပြီးတော့ဒီကံကုန်တွေကညီကောင်းလေးကြားရနာရစရထိရရရှိရအနေနဲ့ဒီကံကုန်တွေအဲဒီဖြစ်နေတာလေအစင်းလှလာအတန်းချွေချွေလေးတွေပေါ့နာကောင်းလေးရတော့အထီးတွေကောင်းလေးရလာနေတာပဲကံကုန်အဲဒီမိကြလန်စားကြည့်ပြီးတော့ဒီပြောနေတာဒီပေါ်မှာဒါတွားချောက်ကဖြစ်စေရုံနဲ့လေးကိုဖြစ်တုံးလေးပါပေါ့လေတတိမထားလို့ရှိရင်တော့တတိလွတ်တော့အတိမဖြစ်ဘူးပေါ့တတိလွတ်တော့ကိလေသာကိုလည်းပဲစိတ်ဆင်မောရအောင်မတားနိုင်ဝင်နေတာဒါဝင်လာတတိမထားလို့ရှိရင်အဲဒီတွားချောက်ကဖြစ်စေရုံနဲ့လေးပေါ်မှာပေါ့လေမတိဘူးတိမဟုတ်ဆိုတာပေါ့မနည်းပြောခဲ့တဲ့ဘဝိဇ္ဇာနှမျိုးပေါ့မတိဘူးအပ္ပတိပတိဝိဇ္ဇာတိမဟုတ်မိစ္ဆာပတိပတိဝိဇ္ဇာသာဖြစ်သွားတာလေလည်းနည်းပေါ်တဲ့အာယုံကိုသတိထားပြီးတော့မရှိမှလို့ရှိရင်တော့ဒါမတိဘူးတိမဟုတ်အပ္ပတိတာဝင်လာတယ်ဝိဇ္ဇာအစေတတ်ပြီးတော့သစ္စာဝင်လာဝင်လာပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တဏှာကမနေတော့ဘူးဖြစ်တော့တာပဲထင်းလာတဲ့အာယုန်လေးကိုခြာလောင်တော့တာမြင်တော့တာဒါလေးဆွဲလာတော့တာဒါကမြင်နေတာပဲဆိုတာကိုသင်မဆွဲလာနေတာဒီမှာစစ်စစ်ဝင်တော့တာဒီကပွားစီစီသလိုလို့ဆိုတော့ကဒီနေ့ခိုက်တာမှာထင်ရှားတဲ့မြင်ရတဲ့လှလောက်ကအရှင်းလေးရတယ်ဒီအရှင်းလေးကဝိသဒနာဘောရံခေါ်ဒီကစီပေါ်ကြည့်ရတယ်ထို့ပြီးကြားရတဲ့ခိုက်တာစတယ်မှာဒီတိုင်းကြားနေတဲ့ဒီတိုင်းဖြစ်နေစစ်စစ်လို့
Sada says we have 6 sense doors through which various senses arises depending the sensuous objects. Through seeing, through hearing, through smelling, through tasting, through touching, sensuous pleasures arise. If the seeing object is agreeable, then hunger arises, thirst arises. To get the taste of that seeing, and the hunger and thirst is craving. Because of craving, you cannot stay away from that seeing. You want to see it to feel happiness, to get pleasure. Whenever you are unaware to that arising seeing object. So that is why Sada says, if you couldn't have observing power in each and every moment, whenever there arises some objects, then not knowing illusion arises what is happening at that time. If you are not aware, then again wrongly knowing thought arises, which is also another type of ignorance. In this way, lack of observing power, ignorance arises very easily. When you don't know what is happening, and there is the wetness, sap-like defilement, first arising as ignorance. Because of that ignorance, as previously stated, craving arises as the hunger and thirst. So you want to enjoy it, to get happiness in it. So there is the seeing object through which arises those defilements, sap-like defilements, and it gives growth to various acts. Not only through seeing those things arise, but because of hearing also those things are easily arise. When there will be sweet sound, pleasing sound, enjoyable sound, if you don't have observing power, immediately after the arising of that sound, then ignorance arises, not knowing what is there, and knowing wrongly that this is the pleasurable thing, and that belongs to me, and the sound is mine. So I am listening the pleasurable sound, for how enjoyable is it? And that creates craving to listen that sound again and again and again. Non-stop desire to listen to it arises very comfortably, very easily, and you are lost on that listening. So you is easily carried away by that sweet sound. So in the same way, when there will be pleasurable smelling, the nose creates various activities, and you are lost in it. So in the same way, the taste also same. When you get very, very juicy things, then non-stop thirst and hunger arises. So you want to enjoy it because you are getting some kind of pleasure and happiness in it. So delight is there, you don't want to stop it. Similarly, the touch feeling also the same. So in this way, Sayadaw says, there are those 5 human sensuous pleasurable things, and there arises those rounds of defilements as the wetting sap. Then the continuity or round spinning of such defiling things will be there continuously.
ဒီလိုဤကောင်ဘုံမှာ စိတ်ဝင်စားအားကြီးတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေဆိုရင်မြင်စေစသည်မှာတော့မှအားမရပဲနဲ့အိမ်အထိတည်ယူသွားပြီးတော့အိမ်မှာလည်းပဲတမျိုးမျိုးနေပေါ့လေညကြနေစထိရတာလေးပေါ့လေပြန်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားပြီးတော့ပြည်ပါပွားနေတယ်ရှိတာနွားများညီကင်းမဲ့မြက်စားပြီးတော့ညပဲစမြုပ်ပြန်တယ်ပေါ့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ခံနေတော့စမြုပ်ပြန်ပြီးတော့ရှိတယ်
And sometimes those people who have strong hunger and thirst on those pleasurable things, they don't satisfy just having at the present moment to enjoy them. When they go back to their home or their dwelling places, and they are there to enjoy recollecting whatever they have enjoyed before. Such a beautiful feature, complexion he or she has. What a sweet sound he or she has. What a sweet smelling things it gives. So you try get the taste again and again with repeating the thinking, as the animals do, especially the cows and oxen. After eating the grass, they go to one place and they bring it back and chew it again and again. What do you call it? Chewing. And in that way also, the people try to develop their power of round of defilements.
ဒါလည်းအားမရသေးဘူးနောက်နေ့ရက်ဒီအတွက်လည်းပဲအဲ့ဒါမှစီမံကိန်းချနေတာပဲနောက်နေ့အတွက်ဒီနေရာမှာသွားပြီးတော့ဘယ်လိုဆိုတာပေါ့လေဒီနေ့ဆွဲနေတာတော့ရှိတတ်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါဆုံးနေတယ်အများကြီးပေါ်သွားတာ
And Sadhu says they don't stop just having that thought. And later on again they are making plans. Next day where we will go and enjoy all those things, and other days where we will go and try to enjoy them. So non-stop planning will be there to get the enjoyment.
And if you that what they will, we are pausing serious, let me let on Saturday cheap before Mama Mola. Look out, Ronia, and if you that so she pausing serious in Jamana.
So now it is clear to you that how those defilements get growth to strengthen them. There are the humanly sensuous pleasures to give growth to them. And that is actually experiential thing, not imaginative things.
ကာမဂုဏ်ကြောင့်ပွားစီလာတဲ့ကိလေသာကိုအကြောင်းပြုပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒါကြီးကောင်းတဲ့ကောင်းရရှိဖို့ရအောင်ကျင့်ရစီရတယ်ဘယ်တော့ကနေရောက်တော့ပြောဆိုရတာဒီဒီကနေရောက်လာတယ်ပြီးတော့ဒါရီရရှိဖို့ရအတွက်ကိုပြောကဆက်ပြီးတော့လှုပ်ဆောင်ရတာလေဖြစ်ပါတယ်ကံကြီးဖြစ်လာတယ်အစီအမံဆိုပြီးဆိုရအစီအမံအလုပ်ကြီးဖြစ်တယ်တမောကြီးဖြစ်တယ်
So when there will be turning and spinning of round of defilements, and there arise various activities. At first there will be the mental activities, how we should get these things to enjoy all the time, how we possess them, what we have to do them, how we have to act them. So various kinds of intentional thoughts at first arise, and according to those thoughts you are there to perform them in various ways, physically and verbally. So you act physical, wholesome and unwholesome acts, and verbal, wholesome and unwholesome acts, to fulfill your pleasurable things, to obtain them, to possess them.
Hello, Guru Sikha, don't bother body. Don't follow Sinaria. She will not get on my road. If you don't know who, to that is a journey, I that is a people are what that's I'll keep on. You are going to kill a resolution of what? Sorry, so everywhere. Always on it. The now, Mongan, see that. Was that is no was that is a kappa, that in it. Now, Yamaka, without it, without come out, if you come out and got out, if you do need it. Sharavan, maybe on the phone.
And when you are acting mentally, verbally, physically, in your act, there is strong volitional force. That volitional force leaves some powerful effect, or powerful, energy as the elementary forces. Although their physical, verbal and mental activities are arising and passing away, but the force, elementary force, which lives by the volition, they are powerful enough to produce the result afterwards. So there will be the round of result. And with the round of result, again the round of defilements follows together. And when there will be those rounds of defilements and the acts, rounds of karma also there, and when karma will be there, again the result will be there. So in this way, the rounds of existence is turning and spinning without stop. So continuous round of existence will be there.
Ileta ma piet fu so lo shin no kama ko le set ta be upaka ko le be la do la be pi ni ma piet kan ga set wibe ma kin pya so la ba le dai baအဲ့ဒါလို့ဝတ်သုံးပါလေရတာဟာအရင်စစ်လိုက်လို့ရှိတယ်ရှိပြမဲ့ဒီမှာပွားလေဝတ်စီအမြဲစားဆိုတာမဲ့ဒီရှိပါစီတရားမိမိတဏ္ဍာမှာပြည့်စုံအောင်ကျင့်ရလောက်တဲ့အထိမပွားလို့ဆိုတာကိုဒါမှတော့ဒီပတ်ကြည့်ကြပါဒီလာမဲ့ပြင်ဆိုင်တာတမာရီမဲ့ပြင်ဆိုင်တာနဲ့ပညာမဲ့ပြင်ဆိုင်တာမဲ့ဒီရှိပါစီတရားပွားများလို့ ဒီရလို့ဒီလာမပြည့်စုံဘူးကမာရီမပြည့်စုံပညာမပြည့်စုံဘူးဒီလိုဖြစ်ရတာဆိုတာလည်းရှိပါကျင်တရားဘဝသမီးကတော့တန်တရားဆက်နေတာပဲဆက်နေတာရက်တယ်ရှိတယ်
Sanders says, therefore, until you couldn't cut off the round of defilements, there will be the continuity of round of karma and the round of result. Again, they will turn one after another. So the continuity of round of existence will be there until you couldn't follow the Eight Noble Path. If you want to stop them, then you need to follow the Eight Noble Path, practicing as the moral conduct, as the concentration, and as the wisdom or understanding.
အခုရှိမှနေတဲ့ယောဂီဟာဒီလာမဲ့တဲ့သမာဓိမဲ့တဲ့ပညာမဲ့တဲ့ပါနေတာဒီလာမဲ့တဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သမ္မာဝါကျသမ္မာကမ္မတသမ္မာအာဇီဝဆိုတာမိစ္ဆာဝါကျမိစ္ဆာကမ္မတနဲ့မိစ္ဆာဇီဝလို့တို့စီလာတွေရှောင်ရှားပြီးတော့သိစီလာတွေတော့ဒီလာတွေပြည့်စုံနေတာပြောရရှိမှာကပြောတယ်ပြီးတော့မိဖြစ်စေပြီးချီချီဆိုတာပြောတယ်ကျိုးသားသားလေးချီချီပြောတယ်ပြီးတော့အကျိုးရှိတဲ့စကားတွေပြောတယ်သမ္မာဝါကျတွေဖြစ်နေတာတခုကိုယ်ဘူးပြီးတော့ကိုယ်ပိုင်မဆိုင်တဲ့ဓမ္မကိစ္စတွေကြည့်လို့ကိုယ်ပိုင်တဲ့ဟာတော့ဒီထိုက်တာမှရှောင်ထားတာသမဂမတမဲ့တွေဖြစ်နေတယ်ဒါတော့တရားသဖြင့်ပစ္စည်းရှာဖွေမှုဖြစ်လို့ရှိရင်သမအာဇီဝမဲ့တွေဖြစ်တယ်ဒါဒီကဆိုင်ရာမဲ့တွေဖြစ်နေလို့ရှိရင်အကျဉ်းစားဝိจารဏဥပါဒခေါ်တဲ့ကိလေသာတွေညှို့နေတာတက်တော်မပြတ်ဘူးပေါ့ညှို့တာအားလည်းပါဒါလည်းဒီကြားလည်းဒါလည်းသိကြတယ်
As the yogis, while you are practicing the Satipatthana Vipassana meditation here, you are following the Eight Noble Path in your practice. As the yogis, you are observing the precepts. While you are observing the precepts, you are abstaining from unwholesome verbal behaviors and unwholesome physical behaviors. You are away from those unwholesome conducts. In Eight Noble Path, there are right speech, right action, and right livelihood as the factors of Eight Noble Paths. During your practice, you are not speaking lie, or you are not speaking following on the right track. So right action is there in your practice. And here you are not trying to commit any kind of those physical and verbal activities to earn your living. You are following the right livelihood, as the yogis So therefore, these three factors, which are described as the factors of moral conduct, are fulfilled well in your practice. So that means you are following the three noble paths as the moral conduct.
And generally, maybe Ganga body, Matibu, Timabu, Amalang generally, Tana, in the generally, Pagamio is going to person your father, we did come up. Fili Tawoti, Ila take honey, they were can't show me,
And while you are following those moral conducts, during that moment, you don't have any rough type of ignorance, any rough type of craving, any rough type of clinging. You are trying to avoid, keep away those defilements through the observance of precepts. So the defilement of transgression is not there in your practice. So therefore, during your practice, you are somehow keeping away those round of defilements from your life.
Yeah, home people guys are Ninja and Anisa, Tida, Rajabaga, Kisha Bola, Yuna, the Wadia, Shipping Sugar, Duki Sema. Pelota, Swimmers of Honey, and yes, he was Jonia Tan. Shipping Sugar, I won't have. Secretly of power. A team pool, as I will a pool. Somehow we won't make it. So somehow we won't make it a small job. Pilita, never come. They like it. Say that I tell you, I been it all. So there's a shoe, I will. I will leave with so many shoe, so she. It's women are shoe there. Some of the team measuring up, saying, Pilita, Moya, to a peaceful period. So many are shoe, I will my sugar say to the Catholic. Fight and judge a lawyer, Kanika, somebody called it, some of the money making it. From a Susie, who are looking at it. They are not piano, she cover I need no piano and she. Everybody has a decent Maricana told you if you were a kid, I could take it. See them a kid like that, you Chana, Pilita, Elasa, Susie that.
And after that, when you are all the time trying to note whatever arises at the present moment through those 6 sense doors, in your practice, beginning from the primary object as the rising and falling, to get each and every object clearly, precisely, concurrently, accurately, you to focus your mind on the object. So there is the strong energy involved in that noting, even though you are noting only the rising process or the falling process. And while you are driving your mind forcefully towards the object, to get rising as rising or falling as falling, could there enter any kind of those rounds of defilements in your noting? Never. So you are not accepting those rounds of defilements while you are trying to drive your mind towards the object with proper effort. So the effort is there to keep away or avoid those defilements from your mind. And depending on that effortful driving force, when your mind follow with the object beginning from the rising point to the ending as rising, and you can precisely get the object with proper awareness, with observing power, at that time also there couldn't arise any kind of those round of defilements. The observing power or the awareness is there to close the door through which those defilements could enter easily. So the observing power is there to protect your mind, not to give any chance to enter those defilements. And when that observing power follows with the object closely, then there will follow another wholesome mental state as the concentration, that your mind stay on the rising object deep into it. There won't be any kind of wandering, flickering, fluttering process of your mind. Your mind stands still on the object, even though it is momentary. If your mind is stick with the object without wavering on that object, then right concentration will be there. At that time also there couldn't arise any kind of defilement. So in this way, in your practice, even in one noting of rising, there involves right effort, right mindfulness or observing power or awareness, and right concentration. Those are the three factors which included in the Eight Noble Path as the concentration group.
အဲ့ဒီလိုကြောက်ရဆိုင်ပြီးတော့ရှူလိုက်ပါလည်းပဲရှူခွင်းနဲ့တက်အောင်ဆိုပြီးတော့ချိန်ရွယ်ပြီးတဲ့သမာစင်ကပ်ပါလည်းပဲအမြဲတည်းလိုပါနေပါလေ။နောက်ဝါရိခန္ဓာတွေအပြည့်လာတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဒီသမာစင်ကပ်ပါလည်းပဲရှူခွင်းနဲ့ချိန်သားကြိုက်တက်မလွဲတမ်းတက်လာတာမလွဲတမ်းဝင်ရတက်လာပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အဲ့ဒီဝင်ရတက်သွားတဲ့အာယုံလေးကိုပိုင်ပိုင်ချာချာပြလိုက်တော့တာပဲညီနေခိုင်းတော့ခိုက်တော့မှသင်ရှားရုံနဲ့အာယုံကြားတဲ့နာနဲ့စားတဲ့ကြည့်တဲ့ခိုက်တော့မှရုံနဲ့အာယုံဟောင်းနဲ့ပိန်နဲ့ကိုယ်ရဆက်နဲ့ခိုက်တော့မှသင်ရှားရုံနဲ့အာယုံပိုင်ပိုင်ချာချာမှန်တိုင်းပြီးတော့တယ်ကောင်းတာသမာဓိတိပဲဖြစ်လာတယ်အာယုံနဲ့မှစိတ်နဲ့တက်သွားတာသမာစင်ကပ်ပါမယ်ပဲ ဝင်ရတဲ့ခါလေးတဲ့တော့ဘောပါလေးတိတိသွားတာသမာဓိတည်နေတယ်ပေါ့အဲဒီသမာစိကမနဲ့သမာဓိတည်မဲ့ခင်နှစ်ပါးပေါ့ဒီပညာမဲ့ခင်ပေါ်တယ်ပညာမဲ့ခင်နှစ်ပါးဖြစ်သွားတဲ့အခါပိုင်နေဆိုတာရှုမိတဲ့အာယုံပေါ်မှာကိလေသာမျိုးမကြတော့ဘူးအနည်းစီကိလေသာတော့ဆက်ပြီးပြတ်သွားတာမရှိဘူး။တော့ပြန်ပြီးစဉ်းစားမိတဲ့အခါလည်းပိုင်နေဆိုတာရှုမိတဲ့အာယုံကိုပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တ attva အနေနဲ့အတူယောက်ျားမိန်းမအနေနဲ့မမြင်ဘူး။ယုံနာအနေနဲ့ပဲပြန်ပြီးတော့မြင်လာတယ်။ဒါကကိလေသာမျိုးပြတ်တယ်လို့ပြောတယ်။ပိုင်နေဆိုတာရှုမိတဲ့အာယုံမှာပြတ်တာလား။အနည်းစီကိလေသာတော့ဆက်ပြီးပြတ်သွားတယ်။
While you are precisely noting each and every object and your concentration groups are developing gradually, that then the timing at the time you are really breaking down the power of those obsessive defilements. You are getting rid of obsessive defilements. After the development of concentration group, whenever you are trying to note the rising as rising or falling as falling, or seeing as seeing, or hearing as hearing, smelling as smelling, touching as touching, tasting as tasting, thinking as thinking, bending as bending, stretching as stretching, and lifting as lifting, moving as moving, placing as placing, each and every object could be clearly observed through the right aiming and right timing. Your noting and the knowable object becomes very, very accurate when there will be precise aiming and precise timing to get the object. And that ability could come through the well-balanced those three concentration groups. And when you precisely and constantly follow the object from the beginning to the end as a whole, then you get the object without missing them. When you get clearly the object, what you will have at that time. So you will know rising as rising very clearly, rising as the object, and the knowing of rising as the mind. So rising becomes the object, and the noting mind is there to grasp it clearly. So you discriminate, oh, this is the object and this is the noting mind. Object is physical process and the noting is mental process. Only these two processes are there. No other aspects are involved in it. So a clear understanding will be there. No illusion, no delusion, nothing. Knowing is there. When knowing is there, then understanding is there. or this is this, that is that. So you can clearly see this and that. When you clearly see this and that, you understand it. Oh, this is this, that is that. The clarity is there. And when clarity is there, all right, understanding is there. And these two factors are right thought and right understanding. Timing and aiming precisely is the right thought. And having proper understanding when you are making the clear note as rising and noting of rising, then understanding will be there, and those are the two groups as the wisdom factors. So in this way, 8 noble parts are there in your noting. While you are possessing those two wisdom factors, during that moment, even the dormant defilement could be eradicated from your mind, although it may be momentary, even momentary. Even a single moment you are free from those latent and dormant, smooth, subtle defilement.
ဘုရားရှင်းအောင်လို့ဆက်ပြောရမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သမစင်္ကပ္ပမဲ့ရဲ့အချိန်သားကြိုက်နေတော့ချိန်သားကြိုက်တဲ့ကြိုက်တိုင်းမှာသာဝကုအာယုန်ကြီးမတော်တော့ဘူးပါတော့ဒီပေါ်မှာပဲယုံနာမှုမှာပဲစိုက်ကြတဲ့ဆက်တယ်ပြတ်တယ်လို့ဖြစ်နေပါတယ်ပြီးတော့အမှန်လိုက်တည်တည်နေတော့မသိမှုပြောက်သွားတယ်မသိမှုဝိဇ္ဇာပြောက်သွားတယ်ပြီးတော့တိမမှုလည်းပြောက်သွားတယ်ဝိဇ္ဇာမရှိဘူးဝိဇ္ဇာပြည့်တာကိုပြတ်သွားတယ်မသိရင်စာလောင်မှုတွေ့တာမှုဆိုတာလာနိုင်တယ်ပြီးတော့ဒီမှာစာလောင်မှုတဏှာလည်းမရှိတော့စာလောင်မှုတဏှာမရှိတော့တွေ့တာမှုတဏှာလည်းမရှိတဏှာကြီးလည်းမရှိတော့ပြီးတော့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တ attva အနေနဲ့ဒီမှာယုံနာပိုက်ချတည်နေဆိုရဲကူကဟိုကထင်မှားတဲ့အစွဲလားလည်းမရှိတော့ဒီနည်းနဲ့ပဲဘုရားတဏှာဥပါဒံခေါ်တဲ့ကိလေသာဝဟာအစွဲစေးဟာတော့6သွားတယ်ဓမ္မပိဋိဒသာဖြစ်လိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ဓမ္မဒါအတွက်6သွားတယ်ဓမ္မနဲ့မှတ်နေလို့ရှိရင်အချိန်ပေါင်း60ပါတယ်6ကိလေသာအစွဲစေးတော့6တယ်
Sadhu says he would like to make it clear again, when your noting is precise because of the right timing and right aiming, and you are getting the object in your hand without missing it, there couldn't arise any kind of defiling thoughts. Sensuous pleasures couldn't arise at that time. Right aiming, right timing doesn't give any opportunity to spring those defilements. And when you are enabled to get the object clearly, so there is the right understanding, and when these two factors are working together to have more clarity and understanding, there won't arise any kind of ignorance.